You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Hope everyone is having a lovely day. I hope everyone got a chance to see that Project Veritas video before it was summarily removed from Google and YouTube. There are other places you can see that. We're going to go over that here in a little bit. We're going to talk about the new accusations against President Trump. Got some interesting stuff that happened with that. Also, some more updates on the General Flynn information that we brought to you yesterday. And then also a couple more things related to the border. First of all, we're just going to go through a quick word from my sponsor, and I'll see you right after the break. Hey friends, I want to share something really special with you today from my sponsor Noble Gold, because without their help, I would not be able to make this content for you. Do you remember that moment you became aware of just how much you didn't know? I certainly remember mine, and once your eyes are open, it's impossible to keep them closed any longer. Noble Gold has created something remarkable to remember that moment, so I want to introduce you to the Q coin. A year of painstaking detail went into making this, not just because of the phenomenal design, not just because of the incredible symbolism on the coin, not just because of the sense of belonging it instills, but because it's a big secret hidden in plain sight. If you take a look at the coin, it's loaded with Q quotes, a lightning bolt, 17 references, and so much more. And take a look at the packaging that this coin comes in. It's truly a work of art. Whether you're new to the movement or you've been following for some time, you're going to want to add this to your collection. You can get yours today by going to www.greatawakeningcoin.com. And for this month, you can get a $5 discount if you buy 2 coins. Just use my name, RedPill78, in the discount box, and you'll get these 2 coins delivered to your doorstep. They're simply amazing. The choice will be yours. All right, so on my screen right now, we have a tweet from Educating Liberals. I just want to announce that on Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Educating Liberals, Dylan is going to be joining me on the program. Pretty excited about that. He's a really cool guy, very funny. He puts out a lot of really great tweets, and he's one of the strongest voices on Twitter, in my opinion. Been following this guy for a really long time, so I'm very, very pleased to say that he's going to be joining us on Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right here, in regards to the new claims of assault against President Trump, he says, guess how I know Trump's latest sexual assault accuser is lying? 1, it happened over 20 years ago. 2, there were no witnesses. 3, she won't file charges. 4, she just wrote a book. And 5, she looks like Gary Busey. There needs to be harsh penalties for false accusers like this. I couldn't agree more. Now, since the time that she accused President Trump over the weekend, nobody really bit on this, but of course CNN had to go full throttle, and she gave a very awkward interview with Anderson Cooper, and he stuttered and ended up cutting the interview short after the accuser of President Trump. Her name is E. Jean Carroll. She called the R word sexy. This was awkward. CNN's Anderson Cooper on Monday interviewed E. Jean Carroll, a woman who alleged that Donald Trump raped her in a Bergdorf Goodman dressing room in the 1990s. Now, Bergdorf Goodman is a very high-end department store packed with attentive salespeople and security, which makes Carroll's claims even more preposterous. Anderson Cooper was left speechless and stuttering and decided to cut to commercial break after E. Jean Carroll called rape sexy. She said... I'm going to go into the video. I'm going to let you guys hear what she said. This is incredible.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished. Which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt. It just, you know.
Well, I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Mm. Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
I got bad news for you, Gene. Anderson's gay. E. Jean Carroll claimed in a New York Magazine article, which was published on Friday, that Donald Trump sexually assaulted her. The accusation is actually from an excerpt from a new book Carol is slinging. Shocker, she's selling a book and wants publicity. Carol claims in her hit piece that she has a most hideous men of my life list and recalls a list of the 21 most revolting scoundrels she's ever met. As it turns out, a hideous man marks practically every stage of my life, and so, reader, from this cavalcade of 21 a-holes, I am selecting a few choice specimens, Carol wrote. President Trump promptly issued a response on Friday denying the allegations and said that he's never met E. Jean Carroll in his life. Carol also claimed that she did not wash the dress she was wearing after being raped by President Donald Trump in the 1990s, but will not agree to allow the NYPD to test it for DNA and prove her outlandish tale. Now, I'm sorry for laughing, but the look on Anderson Cooper's face, he was so completely taken aback. That was not something she was supposed to say. She absolutely gave herself away in that clip. This is what E. Jean Carroll thinks of as rape. I think that I agree with Anderson Cooper, one of the rare times I do. The idea of rape is a violent sexual assault. It doesn't matter what you're fantasizing about. If you're telling people that you were raped by the President of the United States, you're saying that you were assaulted by him. And she's insinuating that this could have been something else. But she doesn't like using the word rape because that's what it means to her. So it really makes you think this is the kind of thing that these people are into. Sick people. Sick people. What are we going to do here, guys? How many more people are going to come forward? Now, the other thing about this is, she is associated with Lisa Bloom. Lisa Bloom is the lawyer, daughter of Gloria Allred, who previously had brought forth accusers of President Trump, and it turns out that she had paid them to come forward and do this. Did she also pay E. Jean Carroll? Or is it just that E. Jean Carroll knows that she can put this information out there, she'll get some publicity, she'll sell a couple of copies, shill. Well, we're going to have to keep watching, but I guarantee you President Trump had nothing to do with this woman. Now, more on the subject of E. Jean Carroll. Back in 1995, she appeared on The Charlie Rose Show, and she made the claim that women love the idea of being dragged into a cave by a man. This is backing up what she said on the Anderson Cooper interview. But this bizarre exchange happened when she began talking about how women are obsessed with men. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this. It's about 2 minutes long. I'm going to let the whole thing play out.
Because we spend all that money just for a dress to come floating down the aisle to make you happy because we love you.
Do they know the guy is there?
No, they know that. Listen,
okay,
I think the
good.
thing is, the principle that's changed over the years, just suddenly in the last 30 years, is now we have the leisure and the time and the money, women have the time and the money, to love more than one man.
Well, I don't think they have the money. If they have the money, what do we go to work for every morning? I don't think the women have the money.
Jimmy, we love to be with you. We have this man's in the very deepest tissues of our brain, not out here in the fresh tissues, but way down here by the spine. We have this man-centered gene. Our whole lives revolve around men.
Women do better when they like each other better than they like men.
They like men. They like men more. We live to please. I can prove my case. Think about all the weird, screwy, twisted things women do to prove that we love you.
Like what?
Bikini waxing.
Yeah, but there's a lot of rules. You can't walk out of the cave of the club and drag a woman back.
Equality's made it better.
But Jimmy, women love that.
Or near equality has made it a lot better.
When was the last time you took a big old club and...
No, that's
no, but I mean figuratively. Women love that. You know, just come in with a big old club.
The notion of being hunted.
Love.
They do.
You love that?
Yes, that's what women want.
That's what the 103rd precinct is for. They're in there screaming, arrest them. It's an assault case.
Well, we don't literally want to be clubbed
gone.
until we're bruised, but we want to.
But you want to be chased.
We want to be.
You want to be pursued.
That's right.
So, what did you learn from that experience?
I learned
about men and about.
Well, first of all, you can go back and change the past. I learned that. Well, first of all, you can go back and change the past. I learned that.
How's that?
Go back, you can screw around with your past. You can find out what actually happened, because you have a memory of your past. It lives in a certain way in your mind. You go back and you find out the truth. It's frightening.
What's the truth?
They're distraught. Their whole lives are distraught.
Yeah.
Unless they have a man. Waking up without a boyfriend is one of the worst things a woman can go through. You got to have a boyfriend. You have to have a man. You have to have a husband. Must have. Must have. That means you love them.
So some very interesting comments from E. Jean Carroll, I think really showing her state of mind. Not only does she like the idea of a big, strong man, I think that is fairly, universal across the board. I mean, I think that women want a strong man. I think that men want a nurturing woman. But the idea of her being taken, and then the idea of her changing the past in her own mind. So I think that maybe she's attracted to President Trump, and maybe he rebuked her at some time in the past. What do you guys think? I think that this is just getting weirder by the moment. Now, it's been no surprise that President Trump is getting all kinds of flack from the mainstream media and the hawks in Washington, people who desperately want him to go to war with Iran so that he can destroy his legacy. But President Trump is too smart for that. President Trump here is talking in the Oval Office about the fact that we need a better deal with Iran. We had Obama and Kerry, and they signed a very, very, very bad deal for America and for the rest of the world. And we gave them plane loads of cash, lots and lots of money. And guess what it was used for? Let's take a listen to this clip.
Their country's not doing well economically at all. That can be changed very quickly, very easily. But they have to get rid of the hostility from the leadership. The leadership, I hope they stay. I hope they do a great job. But they should talk to us decently. We're all for them. We want it to be done properly. But the deal that was done by President Obama, $150 billion for nothing. He used the money for terror. They gave the money out to terrorists. If you remember John Kerry, they asked him that question. Do you know the money's going to be used for terror? He said, yes. Essentially, he said at least some of it's going to be used. I mean, he knew about it. He actually said that some of the money may be used for terror. What kind of a deal is that? Then they gave him $1.8 billion in cash. Cash, plane loads of cash. What kind of a deal is that?
What kind of a deal was that? Certainly not a deal with the best interests of America in mind, nor the safety and security of the people of the world. This was clearly a sweetheart deal for the people doing bad things, and it was designed to make sure that the friends of these people who made the deal were going to be taken care of. And that includes people in the intelligence industry. That includes people that we want to keep as adversaries across the globe, people that they want to use to spread fear and horror. It's disgusting. And President Trump is the first president who's actually doing something about this issue and bringing these people back into the global stage, people so that they can re-enter the world on a business basis, and they can find that there are better things to do out there than to get into endless global conflicts. Now, here is an excellent thread from Masters Shelby, Red, White, and Blue Angel on Twitter. This was a picture that was put out, I believe, over the weekend, and they say, the Anons that figured this out are brilliant. It is all about to break. I knew it had something to do with the break with demon rats not being in session, but check this out. We start with this picture. So here is picture of a couple of cue sticks. There are some balls racked up, and the cue ball is actually inside with these other balls. Interesting. Now notice there is a cue stick and a cue ball, and then look at the alignment of the sticks using the presidential seal as the face of a watch. Look at what you get. Okay, we're going to have to make that bigger. Too bad it's not in a higher resolution. But look, you can see you've got 12, 6, 3, 9, and I believe this would be the hour hand here, and then this would be the minute hand. Now, moving to the 3 posts by our favorite Anon of the IPC watch faces, we have this, LMAO. This is so brilliant. What is it? What time is it? Middle watch time is 3:14. It's about right there. So we have this right here. Each of these times we have 3:05, just after 3:05, just about 3:14 right there. And then finally, this final watch face is 3:41. Now, and here we go. We have the 3 posts from our favorite Anon. This is as they were taken. And the second is all about this right here. Will POTUS be at Camp David tomorrow? 1 year Delta. Matters of national security. The clock is ticking. Follow the watch. President was just at Camp David. So we've got a 1 year Delta there, maybe. Last but not least, right here, be the autist we know you are. It's about to break. Godspeed, Patriots. Now, we've just been on quite a lengthy break from our favorite Anon. We're coming up on that 30-day mark very soon. There were some posts regarding General Flynn, 30 days exactly. And Blue Angel, Red, White, and Blue Angel says it's all about the 1, the targets, the ball are contained and set up. 2, the cue ball is set in the striking zone. 3, the cue sticks, deployment apparatus is ready. The targets are set up and the strike package is ready. It's all about to break. Congress breaks for the 4th of July. Happy July 4th. All of you glorious Anons. Very, very cool. It's about to break. It's about to break. And here is the length of Congress's break right here. So currently on, it's amazing that they can make as much money as they can and be off this many days. All of these days just not working. Nice little 4-day work weeks. Mix in a 5-day work week in between. Incredible. All right, so perhaps it is about to break. We just need to keep our eyes on the ball, as it were. And let me know what you think. All right, now, following up on the story from yesterday, Google execs are panicking and they've gone into hiding. They're deleting social media accounts after James O'Keefe's latest expose. This right here is Jen Janai. She was the head of responsible innovation at Google. A bit of an oxymoron here. James O'Keefe and Project Veritas released alarming new undercover video, leaked documents, and testimony from a Google insider revealing the tech giant's plans to meddle in the U.S. politics and the election and prevent a Trump situation in 2020. One aspect of the report features undercover footage of longtime Google employee and head of responsible innovation Jen Janai saying Google has been working diligently to prevent the results of the 2016 election from repeating in 2020, meaning they are actively engaging in election meddling and working to elect someone from the Democratic Party. The expose was so damaging that Google and YouTube deleted Project Veritas's video exposing the tech giant's electioneering, and the Google executives have deleted their social media pages. Jen Janai, the Google executive caught on video bragging that Congress can pressure us, but we're not changing, panicked and deleted her Twitter account and made her Instagram private. Gaurav Gait, the Google engineer revealing the tech giant's actions to manipulate its algorithms based on its own definition of fairness, has deleted his Facebook page. Congressman Louis Gohmert responded to O'Keefe's latest undercover sting and said Google needs to be stripped of its Section 230 immunity and to be properly pursued by class action lawsuits by those who have knowingly been harmed. You and I among the people that have been harmed, folks. We need to get this taken care of. Louis, it is time to stand up in Congress and get this section removed from protecting Google. They should not be allowed to have Section 230 immunity because they are not a platform. They are clearly a publisher. And even more than that, they are meddling in our elections. They are doing whatever they can to make sure that President Trump is not elected a second time, and they will do whatever is necessary to prop up a Democratic candidate. And that includes manipulating search results, deleting keywords, suppressing pages, suppressing videos, anything that they can do to push up their side and push down our side. This must be addressed. Louis Gohmert, I'm looking at you, buddy. All right, now remember yesterday we had General Flynn back in court. And we have I Am Tory here. I Am Tory has a bit of the transcript that I was speaking about yesterday when Sidney Powell stated that she was going to need a security clearance. Let's take a look. So she said, and I do think most of the information I will need to review may be classified. I don't know for sure, but out of abundance of caution and have to. And the court says, notwithstanding the government's representations, Ms. Powell says that's with regard to what they produced. There is other information. Exculpatory information. The court says, oh, all right, now you've piqued the government's interest. Mr. Van Grack on the prosecution side says, Your Honor, again, I'm not... Again, in terms of the information the government produced, there's nothing that the government produced that's classified. And so, I mean, to the extent the court says, but you'd like to know what this other information is, too. And that other information is exculpatory information. And Tory is predicting that General Flynn will have all charges dropped and restitution paid. Thank you, Sidney Powell, for helping General Flynn and for bringing our country back to an equal point of justice. There's a lot of work to do, but this is going to be a good start. And new news coming out about Hillary Clinton's emails, just when you thought it couldn't even get better. James Comey had hidden Clinton emails binder in his office safe, and he had Hillary's backup email device. He had them all along. Former FBI Director James Comey had a white binder marked Clinton emails in his office on May 16, 2017, a few days after he was fired, as the Justice Department was trying to get back the items in Comey's office safe. The State Department and the FBI also possessed a data backup email device for Hillary Clinton's private email server, which a judge ordered released. Michael Pkwy, who waged the data case for Judicial Watch, tells Big League Politics that the State Department is still processing the FBI investigative file, even though data contents were ordered released by last September. Pkwy said it is possible that the State Department has not searched the device, which they received from Comey's FBI, noting they have not yet identified the location of all the records that they reviewed and produced. Comey got busted by the DOJ for hiding his Clinton emails binder after he got fired from the FBI, as Big League Politics previously reported. The FBI officially released the DOJ's inventory receipt for property documents listing the stuff Comey had in his office safe. Look below at inventory item number 17, which originally said top secret. Then that marking was crossed out, and in its final form, it says white binder Clinton emails. White binder Clinton emails. There it is. White binder. Top secret. Cyber Division. White binder Clinton emails. Here's the scoop provided to Big League Politics by whistleblower Mark Pullen. In the exit documents for James Comey's departure from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, a page among the documents showed Comey had a binder in his safe that contained Hillary Clinton's emails. The document does not show what medium was used to store the emails within the binder. The binder could have had sleeved pages for CDs, which could have had Clinton's emails to include the missing emails that were bleach bit wiped by Paul Combetta while the server was under a subpoena order from Congress to preserve. In the FBI's report on Clinton's mishandling of classified information, it has a page from then FBI agent Peter Strzok to the National Security Agency, in order to preserve any emails sent to or from @clintonemails.com. We know from Edward Snowden's disclosures that the NSA captured all email traffic within the United States. I am sure the NSA had all of Clinton's emails, even the ones she had deleted. The questions are, did Strzok take sole possession of the emails for the FBI? Were those emails in Comey's safe the copies from the NSA? Comey said he expected a Clinton victory in the presidential election. Was Comey holding these emails as leverage over a possible future President Hillary Clinton to retain his position as director of the FBI? Meanwhile, the data backup device was storing Clinton's emails that the Clintons did not want stored, and Platte River Networks did not thoroughly encrypt Clinton's emails on the server as the Clintons demanded, according to an FBI report, which you can see right here. I will leave this in the description or the comments below. Now, it turns out that the fired FBI Director James Comey had Clinton's definitive backup email device the entire election and never searched it. Thanks to the work citizen researcher Larry Pkwy, the coverage of Big League Politics, the determined congressional work of Representative Ron DeSantis, and the lawyers of Tom Fitton's Judicial Watch, a court ruling from U.S. District Judge Randolph Moss orders the State Department to hand over the contents of the backup device by September 2018, right before the midterm elections. Big League Politics exclusively learned that Hillary Clinton's email storage company, Platte River Networks, subcontracted to a company in Connecticut called Datto, which backed up the vast majority of Clinton's deleted emails, text messages, and other electronic communications. Datto handed 6 disks containing information to the FBI in October of 2015. One of those disks contained at least a great many of her missing emails. Comey turned the disks over to the State Department, which has been compelled to search them and release the contents. We don't know what the FBI did once they had the device and the information on it. What we do know is since the investigation ended in July of last year, the material found on that device has been forwarded from the Justice Department to the State Department. Michael Pkwy, a Judicial Watch senior lawyer working on the case, told Big League Politics in an exclusive interview. Representative Ron DeSantis grilled FBI Director Christopher Wray about the Datto device in a hearing, marking the only time a lawmaker has mentioned the device on the record. Wray dodged the question about why the FBI never searched the device, and DeSantis is now leading the charge to hold the former president's administration officials legally accountable for their actions during and after the 2016 election, except that now that Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida, so that's not happening with him anymore. So basically, The FBI had the information the entire time. James Comey was holding on to it, and I think that they're right on here suggesting that he was looking to have some leverage over Hillary Clinton in the upcoming presidential administration should she go on to win that presidential election. But things didn't work out that way. James Comey got fired, and he could not get back to that safe to remove the contents before they came in to get it for him. So, now the question remains, when will this information be brought to the forefront? Does President Trump know that the government is in possession of all of Hillary Clinton's missing emails? And I would not doubt that there are many, many copies, not only the Dado device, but also the NSA. So I think the answer is yes. President Trump knows. President Trump is holding on to this for the exact right time. Keep the faith, my friends. Keep the faith. President Trump is in control of this situation, and we're going to find out everything as soon as we need to. And finally, following all of the turmoil at the border, the Customs and Border Protection Chief is now going to be stepping down, and that man is Commissioner John Sanders, and he's going to be resigning in the next couple of days. He is officially leaving on July 5th, and that was confirmed to the Daily Caller today. Now, news of the acting commissioner's imminent departure was first reported by the New York Times and the Clown News Network. He said, "Although I will leave it to you to determine whether I was successful, I can unequivocally say that helping support the amazing men and women of the Customs and Border Patrol has been the most fulfilling and satisfactory opportunity of my career." While the agency did not explain why Sanders was leaving, his departure does come amid an illegal immigration crisis at the southern border and growing reports of unsanitary and unsafe conditions at migrant detention centers. Customs and Border Patrol have attracted criticism following reports of a migrant detention facility in Clinton, Texas, that allegedly contained children who had not showered in days. There were rampant flu outbreaks and neglected infants that were left for older children to watch over. How is it possible that you both were unaware of the inhumane conditions for children, especially tender-aged children, at the Clint station? Texas Democratic Rep. Veronica Escobar asked in a June 21st letter to Sanders and U.S. Border Patrol Chief Carla Provost. Now, numerous leaders within the Department of Homeland Security have asked Congress to provide for supplemental border funding. Sanders implored lawmakers to pass a $4.6 billion emergency funding package, $3 billion of which would go toward the care and well-being of migrant children. Sanders was appointed as acting commissioner of CBP shortly after Kevin McAleenan vacated the position in April to take a promotion as acting secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. And it's not immediately clear where Sanders will land after he leaves the agency. So it's very interesting to me that the Democrats are screaming and crying about the conditions at these migrant detention centers when they are not willing to do anything themselves to help the situation. The only reason things are so bad is because they are so overly burdened with the numbers of people that are arriving at the border daily. You cannot expect for hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands daily probably, to be coming in and not give additional funding for their care when they come to these detention centers. They have to be put someplace, and these detention centers are the only place that they can go. The only other alternative is build the wall, and that's exactly what we need to do. All right, folks, I think that's all I have for you today. I want to thank everyone for joining me. As always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.